What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another new Comic Book Day Top 10 list. I've got 10 books to talk about today, and honestly, I'd say overall is a very solid week for new issues. Today, I'm going to be talking about books from Marvel Comics, Boom Studios, Image, and even IDW. We had a lot of big-name titles come out this week as well. We've got Something Is Killing the Children to go over, Junkyard Joe, Alien, and so many other good ones as well. And as always, as I begin talking about these books, just be aware that there's definitely going to be spoilers. But to give you a heads up that a spoiler is about to happen, I put a little spoiler tag down below in the corner to let you know, so be on the lookout for that. And now, without further ado, let's get started on this week's top 10 list. All right, everyone, here we go. Kicking this top 10 list off first, we've got coming in at number 10. This is Boom Studios. Berserker, issue number 11. This is cover A. I've got to say, everyone, this is probably one of the biggest letdown series that I've read in a very long time. We've got one issue left, and at this point, I'm really not even concerned about how it ends. I feel like since the very beginning, this series has been all hype, and they just really haven't delivered on it at all. Now, story aside, I will say I really enjoyed the artwork, and I mean, some of those action panels and just the gruesomeness of the story, it is fantastic. But at some point, I really did want them to deliver like a well-driven plot that they were kind of hyping up, but we just kept getting more and more backstory, a lot more action, and we managed to hit maybe 8 or 9 issues deep, and then they finally started focusing on the series itself. I don't know, just a little bit too late, just my opinions. But in this issue, our main character B has been betrayed by 2 different government organizations at this point, and after reading this issue, I felt honestly a little lost. Like, it did feel very confusing. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I mean, we're 11 issues deep. They haven't really hit on the story all that much, but there was a ton of action in this issue, and the action was awesome, but as far as the plot goes, it's just severely lacking. So about the rest of the issue then, these government organizations, they're after his powers, and at the same time, he still just wants to become immortal. He's just tired of it all, and he just wants to have a regular life. So overall, while the action was really cool in this issue, the rest of it was just a letdown. I want to hear your opinions on this one down below, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 10 this week, we've got Boom Studios, Berserker, issue number 11. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 9, this is Boom Studios, Eve, Children of the Moon, issue number 3, this is cover A. I'm going to be honest with you guys, while I am a really big fan of this series, I don't think this second volume is nearly as good as the first one. I was a huge fan of that first one. I mean, the artwork was incredible, and I love the story as well, but I really wish that they would have continued on with that story into this second volume, or at least gave us a lot more issues of the first one, but I was still really excited for the second one. So far, it hasn't been that bad. I'm not a huge fan of all the cloning that's been going on, but it is what it is. They're still delivering a pretty solid story, just not exactly what I wish it would have been. But as far as this issue goes, the vault is destroyed and the twins are on the run from Selene still, and in this issue, it introduces a brand new plot point to the series, and I am absolutely about it. There's still another protocol in place in an attempt to save humanity one final time, and it's basically the humans' last step in evolution. I think it's a fantastic addition to the main plot. Like I said before, the clones and all that stuff really wasn't doing it for me, but overall, the action's great. The artwork is phenomenal. I'm not going to be harping on it too much because this is something you need to read for yourself. If I really start getting in depth with it, it's really going to ruin the entire issue. But like I said, while this newest arc and this kind of newest volume hasn't really been doing it for me all that much, I still really enjoy the story. I just kind of wish they would have continued on with the first volume a little bit more. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 9 this week, we've got Boom Studios, Eve, Children of the Moon, issue number 3. Now we've got coming in at number 8 this week, this is Marvel's Namor the Submariner, Conquered Shores, Part 3. This is cover A. We're 3 issues deep, and honestly, I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about this series. This was probably the best issue of the series, though. We had a lot of everything. We had a lot of story, a very well-told story at that. We had some sweet action as well, but as far as the plot goes, while they're developing it very well, I don't think it's really landing with me. I'm kind of bored, and I'm just hoping something new happens, but each issue has still kind of just been up in the air with a mystery. But in this issue in particular, Namor and Luke Cage are still looking for the Human Torch, so they've been hitting on that for the last couple of issues now, and they spend this issue primarily searching Dr. Doom's castles for answers, and they find a lot of cool stuff in his castle. I'm not going to be getting too in depth with it because that's pretty much what the entire issue was them searching for answers. They do find some answers, they find a lot of really other cool stuff as well, and I don't want to spoil that for you, but just a little bit of conversation about that. I didn't particularly like how well that was written because the 2 characters that started fighting, all of a sudden they decided not to fight each other, and then things happened from there, and I thought that was just kind of alright, but we do get left on a very nice cliffhanger, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. I am going to be continuing on this series. I'm just not sold on it just yet, but I guess I am intrigued by the story itself. Let's talk about it more down below, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 8 this week, this is Marvel's Namor the Submariner, Conquered Shores, Part 3. Next up, we've got coming in at number 7, this is Images. What's the Furthest Place from Here? Issue number 9, this is cover A. You guys already know I'm a huge fan of this series. I'm always trying to hype it up. This series has turned into one of my most looked forward to books on New Comic Book Day every time it releases. This series, I feel like it has a little bit of everything. In the beginning, I will admit I was a little unsure about it. I wasn't exactly sold on it. But I think once we hit issue number 3, or maybe it was issue number 4, that's when things really took off and it just completely turned on me, and I love it. So definitely recommend checking it out. We got an incredibly well-driven plot, but on top of that, it's getting so well developed, but there's still just enough mystery that makes you want more. I'm a big fan of the artwork. In this issue, the artwork is different. We get a special guest. I believe the last name is Boo for this one, but this one's kind of more of a one-shot. It's a one-and-done story. We follow the character Sydney, and I don't think we know anything about that character outside of this issue, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The issue is basically Sydney grows up and wants to find the big city and what else the world has to offer, because there's a lot of stuff out there. We get to see the supermarket. We get to see a lot of different characters, some characters that we've never seen before. Sydney gets a nice little team up, so we do get some cool action as well. The artwork was fantastic in this issue. Like I said earlier, it is different from what we originally have seen, but I really like the special guest on this one. I want to hear your opinions on this series. I've talked to a lot of people, and it seems as though everyone that I've spoken with absolutely loves this series as well. This is turning into a massive hit in my opinion, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 7 this week, we've got Images. What's the Furthest Place from Here? Issue number 9. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 6, this is Marvel's Alien, issue number 4, this is cover A. I'm honestly so surprised at how well Marvel is doing this Alien and the Predator series so far. This is now the 3rd volume of Alien that they've done, and I think they've done a fantastic job on all of them so far. I will admit, this 3rd volume is probably my least favorite one so far, but this issue is hands down, no doubt in my mind, the best issue of all the Alien ones that they've done. This was an all-out action issue, and the buildup was absolutely worth the wait. The synthetics were tricked, and now they're just trying to survive at this point. But here we go with this. The best part of the issue was one of the humans was infected and became some sort of just alien hybrid character. That was so cool to see. Like I said, if you're an Alien fan, you absolutely need to be reading this one, but seriously, if you feel like me where you're getting a little bit burnt out from some of Marvel's stuff, especially the superhero stuff, this is a nice change of pace for Marvel. They are absolutely killing it on this series, and if you're a fan of this one, you absolutely need to check the Predator one out as well, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 6 this week, we've got Marvel's Alien, issue number 4. Here we go, folks. We are down to the top 5 issues of the week. So coming in at number 5, we've got IDW's brand new one, Dead Seas, issue number 1. This is cover B. I was really hoping my shop got this one, because if you've been following me for a while now, I've been talking about how my shop has kind of been going a little bit lighter on New Comic Book Day stuff, and I didn't have this one on my pull list, and they don't get a lot of IDW to begin with, so I was really hoping they had some extra copies. Lo and behold, they had a cover B, and this one was fantastic. I read the description, so I knew what I was getting into, but I didn't know exactly what this series was going to be like, and they did a phenomenal job on it. The series is basically just Ghostbusters on a ship, so I'm going to be getting into it just a little bit without too many spoilers. A few years back on Day of the Dead, the ghosts came back to Earth, and they haven't left. Our main character is an inmate and goes on a ship collecting ghost ectoplasm for a reduced sentence. So it turns out that you can use the ghost ectoplasm for medical purposes, and it really helps out everybody. So they send these inmates to a ship, they collect all the ectoplasm because that's where they keep all of the ghosts contained. I don't know, they said they can't go into the water or something like that, they can't travel that way, but a lot of stuff happens from there. We get a lot of really cool action. I thought the artwork was great, and they did a great job telling this story. If you had a light week, you're looking for something new to check out, absolutely check this one out. It was fantastic. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 5 this week, we've got IDW's brand new one, Dead Seas, issue number 1. Next up at number 4, we've got Boom Studios, Stuff of Nightmares, issue number 4. This is the homage variant, and for those of you interested in this series, this is the series finale. If you grew up with the Goosebumps books, or you're an R.L. Stine fan, this is an absolute no-brainer. He kills it on this series. The artwork is great, but the storytelling, there's a mystery, it's creepy, and they gave us such a satisfying ending. And it's not the ending that I thought it was going to be. Based on kind of how the verbiage was with our main character kind of narrating the story, they are definitely going to be coming back with other nightmare stories. So, I mean, like I said, if you're a Goosebumps fan, you definitely need to be checking this one out. But in this final issue, I'm not going to be getting too in-depth with things, but Isaac is ready to finally reveal his creations to the world. Jordan has his new body, but now Stella needs one too. The mongrels are still on the loose, and surprisingly, Frankie plays a big role in this one as well. And it's definitely not the ending that you're going to be expecting. I absolutely love what they did with it. When you finish reading it, I want to hear your opinions on it down below. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 4 this week, we've got Boom Studios, Stuff of Nightmares, issue number 4. Next up this week, we've we've got coming in at number 3, this is Images, Chroma, issue number 2. This is a variant cover. This series continues to blow away my expectations. Originally, I was a little unsure about picking this one up because it had a $7.99 price tag, but I mean, it is an oversized issue that kind of has more of a cardstock cover. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous, and they are doing a phenomenal job telling the story. I'm still not sure if that really justifies an $8 price tag on it, especially if you're on a budget when a lot of the other comics are $3.99 still. I mean, Image has a couple $1.99 books, so I mean, $7.99, that is a little bit on the pricier side, but take that for what it is. I think overall this is a fantastic product. Story, artwork, just the book itself, they've done overall a great job with it. And this second issue picks up right where the last one left off, and the story just continues to get better and better. Chroma has finally made it outside the walls of Pale City. She doesn't know what to do next, but she's on the run. We get introduced to a new character. We're not really sure about him yet. He seems nice, but he also kind of seems a little bit crazy because he's been outside the walls for so long now. But to me, the best part about this issue is we learn more about the outside world and Pale City and just why they are the way that they are. We learn about how some people have survived in the outside world this entire time. It is a fantastic read, seriously. If you had a little bit lighter of a week or you just wanted to add something new to your pull list, it is $7.99, so take that for what it is, but I definitely recommend checking this one out one way or another, whether it's trade paperback or hardcover at some point. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 3 this week, we've got Images, Chroma, issue number 2. Down to the final 2 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 2, this is Images, Junkyard Joe, issue number 3. This is the Spawn variant. Good lord, this series is so good. I love the artwork, the story. The first issue is definitely the best one in my opinion. They did an incredible job with it. But then the second issue, they expanded on it just a little bit more. And now this third issue kind of focuses a little bit more about the Munn family. They're the family that just moved in next to Muddy Davis. We finally get to learn who they are as a family and just how things aren't so good in their life. On the other side of the story, we finally get to see Muddy Davis reconnect with Junkyard Joe. It was kind of a feel-good issue on their side of the story. The Munn family didn't really have a feel-good issue, but as far as just Muddy Davis and Junkyard Joe go, they're reconnecting. He wants to know where Junkyard Joe has been all of these years. Where did he even come from? So they're trying to figure out what to do next. If you're a fan of Geiger, you absolutely need to be reading this series. This series, 3 issues deep, it is phenomenal so far. Geiger's a phenomenal read as well. Let's talk about it more down below, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 2 this week, we've got Junkyard Joe, issue number 3. Here we go, everyone. This is it, my top read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1, taking the crown. This is Boom Studios. Something is Killing the Children, issue number 27. This is cover A. I absolutely love this series. I feel like every single one of these issues. There might be a couple out of 27 that were a little bit worse than the other ones, but I'll tell you what, overall, this series is an absolute hit, and I feel like it's only getting better and better. This issue, while I will admit not a lot of stuff did happen, the little bit of action that we did see and the little bit of plot development that we also saw was fantastic, and it's really setting up where the story is going to be going. I feel like I've been talking about that for the last couple of issues now, but I'm telling you, this is it. Erica and Gabby are still trying to figure out the next step to finding this monster. I'm going to be honest with you guys, that's pretty much what the entire issue was, just kind of some back and forth talking, figuring out the next steps. Not a lot of stuff happened, truly. But we do finally get to see Cutter, and Cutter beat them to it. Cutter found the monster, and I'm telling you what, everybody, that cliffhanger that we got left on is about to make an insane story. I'm here for it. I'm ready. I'm so excited. Let's talk about it down below, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 1, absolutely taking the crown this week. We've got Something is Killing the Children, issue number 27. And that's a wrap on this week's top 10 list of books, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment down below what your top read of the week was and which ones you think I missed out on. And thank you for watching, everyone. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below with notifications turned on. You won't regret it. Now, I've got 2 more sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.